Hey guys, welcome back to the Locker Room Podcast. I am your host, Oliver, obviously. Today we have two gingers in one.
Ginger
Sam,
power.
Sam's back.
Howdy.
Howdy. And
I'm repping
Sharpie.
my face mask for my boy Frizy, who's got COVID at the moment. So all the best, Frizy. Hope you're feeling better.
Nice little shout out to Frizy. Sharpie is obviously returning. No face cam this week, but
How do you know I'm a ginger? I don't show my fucking hair.
you can see it flowing outside sometimes.
Thank you. You've just revealed my identity.
And Lockie's a man of his word, and he's not returning after the Panthers lost last week to the Giants. So he was pretty devastated. But we'll move on to accountability. So Sharpie, we're not going to include yours because you substituted your Christmas Day game with another Christmas Day game.
It's not my fault. Sportsbet was being bad. I thought the games were coming up. It didn't say the date.
Christmas is soon.
Yeah,
it's just a couple months.
Everyone bust out the Mariah Carey.
Anyway, so my multi was 8 legs, and I only failed because the Pacers lost to the Wizards and Ravens lost to the Bengals. So that was pretty disappointing. We'll move on to our weekly multis. Sam, did you want to give us your weekly multi?
Yep. I've gone with a couple different ones. So that can be a multi. Got Toronto to beat the Magic, got the Nets to beat the Pacers, got the Heat to beat the Hornets, Clippers to beat Portland, and then the Lakers to beat the Cavs. And then I've also thrown in some other ones. I've thrown in incentivized to win the Melbourne Cup, Pakistan to beat Afghanistan in the cricket coming up, and Liverpool to beat Brighton tomorrow.
Jesus. I was saying to Sharpie, it's a no cricket podcast, but...
No, this is... All right, I'll just throw in some more.
You got two cricketers in the party, so yeah, it's you're outnumbered.
So we've also got England to beat Australia now. Who else have we got? We've also got the West Indies to beat Bangladesh.
Can I just add in there? I heard you tip against your own basketball team.
Yeah, no, we suck. That's why.
That's a bit rich,
I was hoping if I bet against them, then we'll win. So it's a win-win, really.
All right, fair enough. Sharpie, did you want to give us yours?
Yeah, I've just gone with a 4-legger this week. Got Oklahoma State to beat Kansas in the college football. Obviously, Oklahoma lost on the weekend, so that was a bit. They lost their first game on the weekend. That was a bit disappointing. Bit of bullshit in that loss. I got Stoke to beat Cardiff in the championship.
God, that's not going to get up.
And then tomorrow, I've gone with Cleveland to beat the Lakers. I reckon with the Lakers, the way they're playing, I reckon Cavs can maybe sneak in a win here. And I've gone with Leicester to beat Arsenal on the weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're actually paying a good price, Leicester. They're like $2.40. $2.45 to beat Arsenal, who were a bunch of spastics.
Through Arsenal.
Well, for mine, I've actually got the odds on mine. So I've got Raptors to beat the Magic, the Cavs to beat the Lakers, same as Sharpie, the Titans to win, the Bills to win, the Bengals to win, the Bucks to win, and the Cowboys to win. And that's paying $43. So Cowboys underdogs as well, surprisingly, against, I think it's the Vikings. So that's that. Sharpie, did you want to talk about the G League just briefly? Because I don't think many people are interested in the G League, but we'll give you your couple of minutes.
It's just surprising that the Brooklyn Nets have sent Daron Sharp and Cam Thomas to Long Island Nets in the G League. I thought both of them played well in the summer league and preseason. So it's going to be good to watch those two flourish in that. Josh Primo as well got picked 12th by San Antonio. He's been sent to the Austin Spurs in the G League, which is weird as well, because you don't really see lottery picks get sent straight down, but he's only 18. So, could have some development in there with him. Also some former NBA players' sons, Trey Morning, son of Alonzo, and Ron Artest III, both going to be playing for Miami's G League team, which is exciting.
Sound excited by it.
And that, yeah, well, who knows? I haven't seen him play yet. So, and another Antetokounmpo's in the league as well. Alex, the youngest brother of Giannis, not being sent. He's signed with the Raptors 905 in the G League as well. So it's exciting times. You know, the G League works. There's over 250 players that have been in the G League that are currently in the league at the moment. So
if there's ever tweets about the G League, it's Sharpie saying it. Okay, I won't have any control over that because I don't watch much of it unless Pogachevsky's in there, which hopefully he won't.
You guys just announced your team today.
Yeah,
actually,
I did see that.
That Paul Watson Jr.'s gone on a two-way and stuff.
Anyway,
and obviously Aaron Wiggins.
And we have Andre Robison's brother there, so
and Vit as well.
Yeah, big Cratchy. Anyway, we're doing this part a bit early. It's I nearly ruined it then. It's time for
Slugs. Horsey tips.
Super loud.
No, I edited it in now. So this week he has race 1, number 3 at Flemington. Geez, I don't know how to pre-deturn. It's pricks, but I'm presuming it's pre-deturn. And then race 1, number 2 at Rose Hill, Catalan. And his each way is race 7, number 2 at Flemington, Artorius. I think that's the right way to say it. You got any tips, Sam? You like your horses? Putting you on the spot here.
I'm actually, if we check quickly, you can't see that, can you?
No, I can't.
It's a bit bright. We're watching the dogs at the
dogs.
moment, but we're waiting for Kilmore to start. So if anyone's watching this live, which I highly doubt it,
I'm watching it live.
One Chestnut Thunder. I actually haven't had a look at the races tomorrow. I could probably pull one out real quickly. Where's Flemington? What have we got first? We'll jump into race 6 at Flemington.
Yeah.
Actually, Gunstock. Gunstock's a good horse. So's Forgot You. But in saying that, I don't know what the weather's doing.
Yeah.
Because obviously being in Geelong, the weather's being a bit bipolar at the moment. Sun's out at the moment, but it was just pouring down just before. But you sort of got to wait till the day at the moment, I think, because some horses are obviously better in the wet. So it's a bit hard to bet on them. But Gunstock's pretty handy in the wet. So I'd go, what's this? Race 6, number 4 at Flemington tomorrow is a good one.
There you go. And we'll hold you to that tip if it loses.
Okay. Well, I reckon I get up.
Just like Benny Scarf from the punting
where is
group.
Benny?
Yeah, he's gone missing. Anyway, we'll move on to
the copping it lately.
We'll move on to the NBA. Where I wanted to start is with Sharpie's Knicks. So yes, they did just win today against the Bulls. I didn't see
top of the East.
I don't know exactly see how it finished, but what one I want to bring up, geez, I can't speak right now, is is the Knicks lost to the Magic. So obviously the game before, Randall was giving shit to Wendell Carter Jr., I think it was, about being down 30, and then the next game he comes out and loses. Sharpie, what should the Knicks be 5-0, or did the Magic just play better?
I think they didn't play better. The Knicks just weren't on. They didn't have the right energy in that, and so that's why we lost and stuff. And obviously the only reason Wendell Carter Jr. also was because he was slapping him in the head. So Randall was just giving it back to him and stuff. So that's why. And for some reason Cole Anthony wanted to be Westbrook and just grab heaps of rebounds at the point guard position.
Or Giddy.
And
Giddy sucks.
Who? Giddy sucks. But no, Randall, he had 30 points, but he had 8 for 24. So that was disappointing.
A bit like that, isn't it? That's why Sabonis is better.
But then to come out the next game and beat Philly the way they did, I think it was a good bounce back from that game.
I'll go to you first on this next question, Sam. So the Cavs, I want you to pick what team has impressed you the most. The Cavs are 3-2, the Hornets are 4-1, and the Wizards are 4-1. So out of those 3 teams, which one has impressed, or which one would you enjoy watching the most?
Probably the Cavs. Mate, I like Colin Sexton. I like Jared Allen. They've got good players. I think they're probably Jared Allen for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But they're they've got enough players there that they could build something, but I still think they're missing a key piece.
Bringing Love off the bench as well, which is kind of interesting.
I think they should trade him. His contract would be huge.
Yeah, well, I don't think he wants to leave though. Like, as much as I like Kevin Love and I'd like to see him on a good team.
Yeah.
Again.
In saying that though, when players don't want to leave, a lot of the time they don't really get a choice.
Yeah.
If you get traded, you get traded. You can't say no unless you're Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I was about to say Ben Simmons should have just said he doesn't want to trade. Then they would have got rid of him.
Oh, don't get me started.
Sharpie, out of those three teams, who are you been impressed by?
The Wizards, actually. And I'm looking like a goof here for especially what I said to them in the pre-NBA podcast we did. Slanting them heaps with their roster, but they're competing with a lot of good teams, and they're beating the teams well. Today they beat Atlanta. Montrezl Harrell being an absolute force at center.
As much as we hate him.
Yeah, exactly. And Kuzma as well, especially, he's been impressing me a lot, averaging 15 and 11 so far. Like, they're all just playing well, which is good.
My horse ran backwards, by the way.
So it didn't get up.
Came third.
Oh, well, that's not bad. Bonus bet. I am actually impressed probably the most by the Cavs. Obviously, all the three teams have been impressive, and I kind of predicted that the Hornets would get in the top 6, I think it was. So it's a surprise, but it's not too much of a surprise for me, although betting the Nets was a surprise. The Cavs, though, I don't know if it's a bold prediction or not, but I think they will be in the play-in, whether they get in the 8 seed, 9 seed, 10 seed. They will be in the play-in. How do you match up against a team with 3 7-footers that are starting?
Because Evan Mobley can defend the perimeter.
Yeah.
That's why.
And Larry Markkinen and Jared Allen, and then you got Darius Garland, who's a pretty handy defender, and then you got Sexton. I don't know if it's a bold prediction. I don't know whether I should put that as a sticky note down, but I think the Cavs will make the play-in. Does anyone disagree with that? Or
they got a good chance.
What are your thoughts on
very
Minnesota?
strong though. What's that? Sorry.
What are your thoughts on Minnesota? 3-1 as well.
I do like them. I don't like them at all, but I don't mind the team that they've got now. I think last year they only had a few. I think they only had like a couple games where D'Angelo, Ant, and Karl-Anthony Towns actually played together. So it's no surprise that now they're getting minutes that they're winning. But
Cat's averaging 28 points as well.
Geez.
He's balling.
Can I say something as well? A tip for yesterday. Obviously, the Pacific Division in the West is pretty stacked, but the Warriors, so I'll say it correctly this time, they were paying $4 to win the division. And the two favorites were the Lakers and the Suns, who have started pretty poorly. So, and the Warriors are up 6 right now against the Grizzlies in a redemption game, but that might be a bit of food for thought if anyone wants.
There's also another one actually. Miles Bridges was paying $151 at the start of the year to win Most Improved. It's currently into $8.
Oh, imagine getting on that. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know who's putting up money on him at $151 though.
Well, I put $10 on poker at 81. So
yeah, but you're an idiot.
Well,
you got -1 points yesterday in fantasy.
Well, let's go to that right now. The best team in the league right now, the Thunder, after beating one of the favorites, the Lakers. Obviously, we were down by 26. Giddey had a double-double. Obviously, had a terrible turnover at the end, and the last couple of minutes was a shambles. First thing I want to ask you is, I'll go to you, Sam, first as well. Did you see the end of the game? Did you see the Baisley dunk?
I didn't see the end of the game, unfortunately. I just saw the scoreline and when they were down by 26, and then I didn't look at it again. And then I got notifications from you saying that they'd won, and I thought you were taking the piss.
I can only imagine what it would have been paying live to bet on them when they were down 26. But Sharpie, do you think it was poor sportsmanship by Baisley doing that? Yeah, I agree.
No. The Lakers, doing stupid shit on the bench all year and all last year as well. They did, who cares?
Yeah.
I know Westbrook wasn't there then, but no. He plays till the end, and that's it. Like, who cares?
I think that's a problem with the Lakers, though. Obviously, Westbrook had the quadruple trouble, having the 10 turnovers, but I think he's an issue for them because he basically led us back in the game with him shooting bricks, and obviously they weren't playing defense. And surprisingly enough, obviously we got SGA, but like Baisley showed up as much as I get annoyed by him. Roby played all right, but what I was surprised by, Giddey, it was I think 6th or 7th in the rookie ranking so far. Obviously, you're going to have Duarte and Scotty Barnes and Mobley probably top 3. I think that's probably undisputed. I don't know if anyone disagrees with that.
Until Cade comes back.
Yeah,
Probably not going to argue.
Yeah, but I think they had Jalen Suggs. They had Franz Wagner,
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs, and
Franz has been playing nice, so
yeah, but like they had him above Giddey. Obviously, Giddey is not going to get much attention except for games like that because we beat the Lakers. But it's just a bit rough that no one's putting him in top 5 so far, which is annoying. But
it was like that last year for a bit. No one was noticing quickly, and then he shot up a bit, and then he was top 10 for a bit.
Yeah,
I think he was actually favorite at one point.
Well, let's not talk about quickly because we don't really like quickly now. Jesus, I can't spit that out. But how about this for the East? Knicks, Bulls, Hornets, and Wizards are all 4-1. They're the top 4 of the East. I don't think anyone would have predicted
And
that.
I think Heat play Charlotte tomorrow as well. So
That's gonna be a
and
good game.
Miami are 5th. So that'll be a good game.
And my Pacers are down 14th. Yep, nice.
And Nets are 12th.
Yeah, well, Jesus.
No Kyrie, no party.
Yeah, well,
no free throws, no party.
I don't know if James Harden likes playing with another superstar, to be honest.
No, he just doesn't like playing with the new rules.
Yeah, that too. I don't know how he feels about being Robin, though. He's shooting inconsistently, but like he's not controlling the game like he used to in Houston, or even when he had Westbrook, he could still control it for certain parts. Do you disagree or?
Don't know. I think it's going to take him a while to get used to the new rules because he's so used to just running into the paint and then falling over and getting free throws for it.
And jumping into players.
Yeah. Because he can't do that anymore. It's a bit of it's a completely different game for him. He's played like that for so long. It's like imagine going to play golf and then going to play the opposite hand. So that's literally what he's doing basically.
This is his first year since 2011 where he's averaged under 3 free throws a game. So
he's under 3 free throws. That's ridiculous. That's good
you have
though.
Players like Embiid and AD, you could just get calls whenever they want still. Embiid had 15 free throws today. So.
Well, in talking about like records and stuff, obviously the Lakers are 2-3, but you think about those 2 games that they won. Bloody Ja Morant misses a free throw to take it to overtime, and I think the Spurs game did go to overtime, and I think Spurs missed 6 free throws in the last quarter.
DeJounte Murray had a big triple-double against him as well.
Like, do you think it's too early to start worrying about them, or is it?
Just wait to see when LeBron comes back, and that's when. I know they lost to Phoenix without when LeBron was there as well, but.
Well, LeBron was there in that Spurs game, wasn't he?
No, I don't think so.
I think he got injured.
The Grizzlies game. He was there.
And he was there for the Grizzlies game. He didn't play the Spurs game because that was when Westbrook and AD went off.
I don't think it's obviously too early. It's probably too early to call it, but I think they're going to have some issues because they don't have enough shooting around them. LeBron and Westbrook, they both need shooters.
I think even though the more they say that they're not living off their egos, they all live on their egos. They've all got such big heads and they all think so much of themselves that they think they don't need anyone to help them. And that's why that's going to be their downfall, I think. LeBron has to be in control. And then Westbrook thinks he has to be in control, and then AD thinks he's just Jesus. So
Just gets his triple double and then he just doesn't care for the rest of the
then
game.
dips.
How about shout out to Frizy for this one? I want to bring this up as well. Jalen Green
Overboard.
today. Does anyone know what he had today? You just want to know what he had?
I did look at it because he's in my fantasy team.
He had 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. So that looks good from the front. He shot 3 for 16, 0 from 8 from 3, and turned into James Harden and got 7 for 9 from the free throw line. I just want to put that in there because that's Frizy's tip of Rookie of the Year. Copped a bit of backlash on comparing him and Giddey, but I think I'm confident so far in saying Giddey's above Jalen Green so far this year. Anyone disagree?
It's not hard. Jalen Green's played one good game.
True.
So is Josh Giddey.
Oh,
Yeah,
Giddey's played like 2 good games. Come on now.
1.5.
Oh, he's always had double digits.
We'll go with 1.5. Yeah.
1.5.
I'll give you 1.5.
1.5.
Best I can do is 1.5. Sorry.
Best I can do is Jalen Green for Steph Curry, Shelby.
Yeah. Yeah, well, at the moment, Curry just has 36 points, so I don't think so. Grizzlies making a bit of a comeback here.
He's
They
getting
tied the
cooked
game.
by John Morant. John Morant's cooking him.
I'm just gonna
25.
pose a few quick head-to-heads to you for tomorrow as well, since it's probably going to be post up. Charlotte versus Miami.
It's going to be a good game.
I agree.
Reckon Miami.
2 undersized centers in Bridges and Bam. LaMelo, I don't know why he didn't play much time last game, but
Where do they go with Nick Richards?
yeah, true.
I think you come off they're both coming off good wins as well. Like Heat just beat the Nets, and Grizz actually, who did Charlotte just beat? They just beat the Magic, which isn't much.
Yeah.
But they've had a couple
anyone can
good
beat them.
wins.
Except the Knicks.
They beat them once already. So.
But yeah, I think the Heat are probably coming off the better win record. Actually, I think I'll go back on what I just said because they lost to Boston before that.
It's in Miami too.
Yeah, and Tyler Hero is going to go off. So
I'm backing the Hornets here. I think Book Knight's going to show. I think LaMelo is going to have a bounce back game, and I think Hayward's starting to find his rhythm finally. Thankfully,
depends if Butler goes to LaMelo and clamps him.
Yeah, that will be fun to watch. Another game. So I have heard that Jokic is meant to return back for their back-to-back game this weekend. So whether it's he comes back tomorrow against Dallas or the game against Minnesota, I'm not too sure. But let's say that he does come back for tomorrow's game against Dallas. Obviously, Dallas are 3-1 and Nuggets are 2-2. Who do you have in that?
I reckon, even though Dallas are 3-1, I actually don't think they've been playing that good.
They've been playing.
I think they've still got a long way to go before they start contending. Bazinga's taken weird shots, and Luka's probably, even though I still think he's probably one of the favourites for the MVP, I think he needs to step up a little bit more and sort of command the floor a bit more.
I agree. I think Porzingis wasn't playing today, and they went down 20 in the first 5 minutes or 6 minutes against the Spurs.
Yeah, they were struggling today.
That surprised me, but yeah, I kind of agree with that.
The Dallas bench played really well though.
Yeah.
Like Brunson 19 and 7 and 5. Maxi Kleber 12, 10 and 2.
Now we have no Ben Simmons information though to talk about to drag out the length of this podcast, which is a bit disappointing.
Oh no.
So we'll go to the fantasy talk. So obviously we'll just discuss the people in this podcast. So I beat Lockie last week pretty easily. Sam actually beat Sharpie in week 1. And to make things even more interesting, me and Sam are versing this week in fantasy, and it's looking very close right now. Obviously, Sam has LeBron and he's been out for 2 games, and I've had Jokic and he's been out for a game and a
Nothing.
half, I think.
No, he hasn't missed a game yet.
No, didn't he?
He played the first 15 minutes and dropped 24, 6 and 6.
Oh, yeah. And then Jeremy Grant missed a game. So
yeah, he did.
So it's actually the projections you're up by 60, but geez, it's going to be close.
Yeah, I'm 30 points up at the moment with the we've both got the same amount of players left. That's with if LeBron plays tomorrow, because then it'll drop me off again.
Yeah. It's going to be really close, but Scotty Barnes has saved me, and hopefully I can remain undefeated. We'll keep that on Twitter. But who's Sharpie got? Sharpie got
Brad.
You got Brad. Geez, you're going to smash him.
Yeah. My biggest mistake last week was having Nerlens Noel in the whole time. That's what cost me the win against Sam.
How did Brad win last week?
Didn't I beat you by a fair bit?
Yeah, I know, but I had Nerlens Noel in and he didn't play any games.
How did Brad win last week? He's got a terrible team.
He's got the balls roster.
I think he versed Frizy, you had an auto pick team.
But Frizzy's still got a half decent auto pick team, I reckon.
Yeah.
He's got Lillard, SGA, Kyrie, who he still hasn't taken out, Paul George, Tobias Harris, Draymond Green,
I think
DeAndre Ayton. That's an unreal starting lineup.
I was talking to him yesterday, and I think he fixed his team up for next week, so I think he's good.
He's got Jalen Suggs on the bench. That's it. That's an issue.
Yeah.
But is there anything else anyone wanted to talk about on the NBA side of things?
The Knicks are number 1 in the East.
Here we go.
Got it.
Trae Young's averaging 25.
Just under 25 now. He had a pretty poor game today. He's 24-2.
Yes.
Actually, we just touched on it before. Before the podcast started, Trae Young is paying $5 for most assists for the year.
Who's
to lead the league in assists. I think it was like Luka, and I think Luka was like $2 or something.
I think Trae Young's going to lead the league because that's why I'm kind of thinking that he won't get average 25 points per game, because he will lead the league in assists.
And I'd like to note that this is the only time I'm going to ever agree with Stephen A. Smith on anything. When he said a couple of weeks ago about Mitchell Robinson being back, I was like, because especially when we didn't have him in the playoffs last season against Atlanta, I was like, I kind of didn't really notice him not being there because Nerlens Noel was still doing good. But like now when I look at him, like Robinson and that, he is actually a very big player for us with his athleticism and his shot blocking ability. And for him the other day to sort of clamp Embiid was great. And today to keep up with a player like Vucevic as well, it's very big for us to have on that team. Yeah, he still gets in a bit of foul trouble and stuff, but that's just the player he is. He's not getting fouled out. He's just getting a bit of foul trouble. That's about it. So I think when Noel comes back from his injury, I think we're going to be great at the center spot, and our second unit is going to be even better.
Yeah, well, there's Sharpie's Knicks segment of the week. I think that's probably going to happen every week.
Go New York, go New York, go.
Oh, what's with this Bing Bong? I actually don't understand it.
So there's a page on Twitter, and it's like they just do street talk in like New York and stuff. So after the game, after the Celtics game, the double overtime game, they interviewed the people on the streets. And then everyone was just going crazy, of course. So then, this guy just randomly said "Bing Bong," and everyone just like sort of adopted it as a New York thing now. So now everyone's saying it. I think Obi Toppin threw a dunk down against Orlando, and then the social media team put the video up of him dunking it with the caption "Bing Bong." And then when Orlando beat us the other day, they put "Bing Bong" when they beat.
So it lasted a couple games.
Yeah, but no, the Bing Bong will never die.
Well, we'll finish up the NBA there. We'll just touch on one Premier League game from the weekend and maybe a bit of that. So obviously we predicted the Liverpool Man United scored last week, and none of us were right, but I'm happy to say we weren't right. I know you did you watch the game, Sam? You probably watched some highlights.
I did watch the game, yes.
Yeah.
I watched the game.
What did you take away from that game?
United is shit.
Yeah.
They are in absolute shambles. Ollie's at the wheel.
Ollie's at the wheel.
It's good for the rest of the league.
Man
Oh,
United
they are
back.
so bad.
Rio Ferdinand.
I don't know if it's just the. Seen a few things this week of people talking about Ronaldo and his ego and things like that. I don't think you can blame one player for how they're playing. I think they're shaky in the back. They've got no presence in the midfield.
Maguire's a shambles. Luke Shaw kept trying to cover for him, and that's what was. You can't have someone. You got Luke Shaw who's dealing with Trent and Salah, who's arguably the best player in the world right now, and he's having to shift across to cover Maguire.
Well, you can see from one of our goals when we had 5 people at the halfway line, and the only person over their halfway line was Shaw.
Yeah.
So you can't expect a Premier League attack to not score in those situations.
And they were trying to press with Ronaldo in their team. You can't press with Ronaldo.
Ronaldo's so lazy.
He's never pressed in his life, and he's not going to press when he's 36 or whatever he is. But I just think that
he just gets his tap in.
Yeah, there was a few times where Mason Greenwood and stuff would go up for a semi-press and start pressing our centre backs, but the person behind him pressing up would be too slow, and that's when we just picked our way through them. But I think I didn't have.
I actually think
Salah
we
as
should
the
have won by
captain.
more.
Oh, we should have. I mean, Pogba's red card, I think that's clear as day. Did you think Ronaldo should have got a red card for what he did to Curtis Jones?
I thought it was 2 yellows. So the first kick, I think that's yellow, and then him kicking Curtis while he's on the ground, I think that's another yellow. So you don't think you could really go away from that. They had another one where
kicking the ball, boy.
Exactly. They had another one that they got lucky with. I think it was Shaw, maybe, who studsed up Salah, I think, on the sideline. Don't know how accurate I was with the players there, but one of their players kicked one of our players like from a slide tackle, and it was halfway up his shin and didn't even get checked. So it probably should have been checked and could have nearly been another red card. So they were. It was good though, because I like seeing United in shambles and all their fucking fans leaving in the 60th minute as well.
To be honest,
embarrassment.
I think Maguire, once Varane comes back, I think you pair him with Lindelof, to be honest. I don't think you have Maguire. I think Lindelof's a better passer. You see some of the passes he makes.
Yeah, he does make some unreal passes.
But I'd nearly run those two to start off with. I mean, they obviously.
I don't rate Maguire. Even when he was at Leicester, I didn't really rate him.
He was just
he just had good players. Yeah. I think when you have Kante in your team as well, I think he probably covered up a lot of their.
Johnny Evans isn't even the worst offender. Like he was okay back then. I didn't mind him.
Yeah.
I think it was Johnny Evans.
I don't even think Maguire played with Kante.
Didn't he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I'm pretty sure he was still at Hull when all that happened.
When he moved to when they won the title.
I think they moved to Leicester afterwards.
We might have
Sure? I'll have a quick look.
So I was right.
You were right, yes.
Yep. So we're back.
Very unlike you being right.
Sam has conceded that he is wrong. Maguire
I am wrong. He did not play
with Kante.
Don't mess with me. I'm the king of transfers.
True.
But Maguire still had.
Did he play with? I don't know. He's still shit. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and he had Casper Schmeichel, and a goalkeeper I rate highly. But yeah, the absolute shambles, that whole team. I think. What about that pass from Rashford? That nearly, I think they conceded a goal, and it was nearly straight off kickoff. Rashford's done a back pass, and it's gone straight past Shaw, and Salah should run onto it, and he had a tight angle. He probably should have. I think it was when it was at 4-0, maybe. I think we could have beaten them by like 7 or 8, to be honest. But
I think we should have won by so much more.
Speaking of Salah, man's won me my fantasy game against Lockie on the weekend.
Single-handedly. I can't believe I didn't have him as captain.
He scored 44 points for me, or 48 points, and I was down against Lockie. And he brought me back, and I won it comfortably.
Maguire still had Ndidi, Amati when he was playing pretty well. Mahrez, pretty handy player. Dragovic, Christian Fuchs, who was good
was-
at that
he was-
time.
yeah.
Chilwell, like they still had a good defense around
Mm.
him. But in saying that, Maguire's still shit.
Yeah.
It's also because he's English. That's why people.
Yeah, it's
gravitate.
literally English.
I
tax.
honestly wouldn't be surprised if he gets a team of the season or a team of the year card just because
Oh, Jesus
United
Christ.
finished second last year in the Prem, and then England made it to the finals in the Euros, so it wouldn't
see
surprise
now.
He
me.
had nothing to do with any of it, though. He
Yeah.
literally just gets bailed out.
He's so stupid. Like you watch that game back, Lindelof doesn't do much wrong. Like I
actually
he-
rate Lindelof. Lindelof's
Yeah.
a player.
But he'll cop the blame the most.
yeah. I feel bad for him, but he's probably going to get dropped just because Maguire's the captain.
Yeah. That's where Ollie needs to step up and show some balls and drop Maguire.
Yeah, but he won't. He
Mm.
won't. Because Ollie's a little bitch.
You need to make
He does-
changes after that game, though.
Oh, you got to make changes after a 5-0. You
Mm.
can't just sit there and not do anything.
If anyone's happy about that loss as a Man United person, though, my dog's going off if you can hear it.
There are no positives to take from that
Oh, no.
game.
No, there's no positives. But if there's one person that would be kind of happy, it would be Paul Scholes, because he literally called it. I think he said, if you go up against Liverpool playing,
False goals.
is it Paul Scholes?
The feet muncher.
Yeah, it was Paul Scholes.
I think
yeah,
he's happy for
yeah.
another reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
When he said 5, he thought you were talking about toes.
No, but he said if they play a 4-2-4 formation against Liverpool, like they did against Atalanta, Liverpool's going to win 5-0.
Yeah, he
And
did say that. I do
he's
remember that.
exactly right. And obviously, everyone takes a piss out of. I think he had a massive argument with Ferdinand about Ole and that. But like
Rio's an idiot.
Ferdinand's so blind.
you watch all the media
He
attention.
still thinks they're in 2006.
Yeah, you got people like Gary Neville and stuff saying that they need to trust in Ole and everything, but
You can only
like,
trust in someone so much.
yeah, yes, he's gotten their team to this far, but he can't coach these players. Like,
It looks like he has no respect from them as well.
yeah,
Oh, no, he's lost the dressing room 100%.
yeah, and
Watch them come out and win fucking 15-0. this
yeah,
week.
Because they get Conte in as well, who I think's favourite for the.
Yeah, I
United
think
job.
he is. I think
I
if they
want
lose,
Poch.
who do they have this week?
is that a good manager for that team though? Like Conte plays.
I mean, it's a
often
proper manager.
a kind of defensive
Yeah.
3-back or often a 5-back formation. So I mean, would he suit that
Yeah,
team?
he pretty much brought the 5 back to the Premier
I
League.
think.
Yeah.
I think Man United's next few weeks will probably decide whether or not Ollie stays. I've got Tottenham this week. If they lose to Tottenham, who are currently in shambles as well,
It's Al
think he's-
Sakiko.
he's literally got 2 feet out the door. Then
Mm.
they've got Atalanta again, and then they've got City.
Hmm.
Like they've got 3 massive games coming up.
That is the El
And then there's an
Sakiko
instant-
though.
yeah.
Him and Nuno.
Atalanta,
Yeah.
you mean? What do they call it? FIFA now?
Yeah,
Oh,
nice.
they've got Gossens.
I
What
went
are
in
they,
there with
the
I went in
big
there with the
thing?
joke, and then
They're called Atalanta still, I think.
Yeah, I think it's Lazio.
They've just got a
and-
different logo.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's Lazio,
Lazio.
man.
yeah.
My bad.
But yeah,
Good joke.
Yeah, but I had a great joke planned.
De Gea. I feel bad for De Gea as well. He's been playing
Yeah,
pretty
they
well
are
this
Atalanta
season,
still.
and he's been playing pretty well this season. And obviously, you could probably blame him for 1 or 2, but I don't see where that makes.
He's a-
Like Sancho,
he's a
he's had
diving
11
merchant.
games and he hasn't got a goal or an assist,
He's had no
Obviously-
goal contributions whatsoever.
and he's come off the
I
bench.
actually don't think it's his fault. I think it's more Ollie's
Mm.
fault than it is his fault.
Well, I was about to say, Sharpie, you being a Dortmund person, how do you feel seeing that? Do you feel kind of bad, or are you happy because he went
Yeah,
to United?
I feel kind of bad,
such
but
a-
it's like because when he was at Dortmund, he was so exciting to watch and everything. He had so much freedom to do whatever really, and to see him now struggling and that's disappointing. But can't do much now.
Sorry to
We got-
jump in.
We've got a lot of
But,
money for him, but
The Grizzlies and the Warriors are off to overtime.
how
oh,
many points does Curry have?
36.
Damn it! Score
Jesus.
some more points.
yeah, nice. Not happy with 36.
No,
Anyways,
I need-
back to the
He's in my
Premier
fantasy.
League.
Yeah, I think
But I think when you sign someone like Sancho as well, and then you bring in Ronaldo, imagine like how Sancho feels.
Yeah.
he thought he was probably the face of the thing, and then
Yeah,
It could have been. United, it was such an unnecessary signing for Ronaldo. They just
Yeah,
brought
literally,
him
they
in
only
because they didn't
signed him
want
'cause-
because they
yeah,
didn't want
they did.
City to get.
yeah,
that's exactly right.
and I think Ronaldo's probably regretting that now
Hmm.
because I don't think a
Yeah.
manager like obviously Pep would not take shit from Ronaldo, whereas Ronaldo's probably gone in there and I heard rumors or heard stuff about how Ronaldo went to Ole and said that he needs the ball at his feet quicker, changing their whole style of gameplay and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally half their gameplay is crossing the ball in low, exactly the same as City.
yeah,
I think Pep being the respected manager that he is, you would have been able to get a better side of Ronaldo. Like you said, he wouldn't have been taking shit from him because he holds people accountable. So.
just a couple other Premier League results as well. So Chelsea thumped Norwich 7-0, Mason Mount hat trick.
That doesn't count though. Norwich
Watford,
suck.
They're a championship team.
Ranieri beating Everton 5-2 after getting thumped by Liverpool last week.
Agent Rafa's on the case.
Yeah, he's on the case. That was so good to watch. I actually watched that game as well.
For them to bounce back after losing by that much against Liverpool,
Yeah, but they also beat a championship team.
Shows a lot of character.
I think
Shows a lot of
Rafa
character.
would try and get back to Newcastle as soon as possible.
Beating Watford isn't for everyone, you know. Stoke beat Watford earlier this year in the Carabao Cup, so.
West Ham obviously beat Spurs 1-0. I didn't watch that game, but Big Antonio scored. Oofs.
Yeah, that was Harry Kane. Got defending on the corner.
Oh,
it's my fantasy as well.
And Leicester beat Brentford. Brentford are fun to watch.
Actually, they just beat Stoke.
I was about to say that Carabao Cup. I don't know if many people saw. Divock Origi had a nice little. I wouldn't call it a scorpion goal, but
penalties in Ibra.
Would you call it a scorpion? I know it's like close range. He's not really fallen over. It's just a flick.
Yeah, it's more of a flick.
Yeah,
but Canada's Mkhitaryan.
No, I think Mkhitaryan's was more of a. I feel like that was more.
He was a diving.
Yeah, that was kind of just a deflection and fell back to him. Was there any other topics anyone wanted to suggest on the Premier League?
No, that's it really. I don't really watch much Premier League.
Before we go, Salah's the best player in the world, isn't he?
He is the best player in the world. And
who would be second?
Messi can't lace his shoes.
I'd probably say Tyrese Campbell, maybe.
Ben Dunk.
Yes, Ben Dunk is the king.
I know this is controversial, probably, and whether this starts a debate or not. I've had a debate with my mate. Salah is better than what Hazard was at Chelsea. And
well, that's old news. That was 3 years ago. Salah was better.
Thank you. My mate keeps trying to say that, and I'm nearly ready to go up to say Salah's better than Drogba. But
I actually saw a tweet the other day of Salah's goals.
He's got 103 goals, and Drogba had 100, I think.
Salah has like Frank Lampard.
Salah has like 140 goals and assists since like 2015.
Yeah.
240. That's a lot.
Hazard
in that time has 120.
Yeah.
So he's got double.
Out of because I brought up that argument, I think Salah has a lot more goals, and I got told, Hazard's more of a playmaker. Hazard had like a couple more assists.
No, I think he has less now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Probably does. But I think I just think
don't even know why you'd back players that aren't at your team anymore.
I think a good way to show it is if Salah went to Real Madrid right now, he would dominate still.
Yeah.
Whereas Hazard's been there for 2 seasons and he's done fuck all.
Would Salah be the closest to the Ronaldo Messi tier outside, obviously, them two? You've got probably Lewandowski.
More Neymar.
And
If Neymar played more games, it'd be a bit easier to say Neymar. But he's injured all the time, so
if he wasn't on the ground all the time, it'd be nice.
I think Mbappe and Haaland are really pushing for that narrative as well.
If Haaland leaves Dortmund, which he needs to, which is sad, but
to Liverpool.
I would like to see him go to somewhere like Liverpool, but I don't want him to. I don't know.
He wants like 600k a week.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Newcastle.
Mate,
Yeah.
we won't, we're not even
Actually-
willing to offer Salah money.
Last night there was actually I think it was 11:30 or something. I was just reading on Twitter. There's a Czech
Oh yeah.
group, billionaires, going to try
Signing.
and buy West Ham.
No, it's not. They're not buying West Ham. They're just buying a stake.
Stake.
It's like 27% of it. They own
That's still
Slavia
good.
Prague. So yeah, I just hope
Do that Sharpie.
Liverpool don't get left behind. To be honest, but
Yeah,
You
they are.
still got heaps of teams. Still got
Um,
Tottenham. Daniel Levi ain't going to do anything.
this could probably make a video on itself, and we'll probably make a video on it sometime. I want to compare it now, just quickly. Gerrard or Lampard? I want everyone's quick
Gerrard. Silly question.
Liverpool person, so I expect that, and I agree. I think Gerrard. Sharpie.
I'm in a wrong. I'm not in a good situation to disagree. So I'll just.
No, you can disagree. That can be reason for debate. We'll make a video on it in the future. But
I don't know. I'd like to say Lampard, but you know, I don't know.
Just-
I like to
Let's
say
fight Notts County.
I'd like to say Lampard because of how many titles he won. But
oh, right.
I
What, are
mean,
you
when
gonna make
people
the
talk
Gerrard
about Michael
slip
Jordan and LeBron, everyone says Jordan because he's won more rings. So
No, because he was more dominant.
yeah, well,
Well, Lampard was in a dominant team. Look at the teams he played in. Anyway, we'll make a video on that in the future. I think that's everything covered for this week.
I actually think Jordan Ives better than both of them.
Liverpool, Raheem Sterling.
Oh, that was handy.
Thanks for joining us, Sam.
Give us some Ricky Lambert.
Yeah, true.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Sharpie.
yeah. Just one thing to touch on. Knicks first in the East.
Ah,
They're 4-1.
Shout
We'll,
out to Frizy.
we'll probably have
Gets
Sam
better
back
from
on
COVID.
for one of those debates we do have for Premier League players. They'll come up hopefully soon. Hopefully you're down for that, Sharpie.
I don't watch Premier League anymore.
They start bringing up Darren Fletcher.
What's his Rory Delap? How he beat Arsenal. Anyway.
Literally had Shaqiri.
Oh yeah, true. And Arnautovic. Thanks for joining.
Send it.
Thanks for listening, and goodbye.